Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson go on a camping trip. After a good dinner and a bottle of wine, they retire for the night and go to sleep. Some hours later, Holmes wakes up and nudges his faithful friend. "Watson, look up at the sky and tell me what you see." "I see millions and millions of stars," replies Watson. "And what do you deduce from that?" Watson ponders for a minute. "Well, astronomically, it tells me that there are millions of galaxies and potentially billions of planets. Astrologically, I observe that Saturn is in Leo. Horologically, I deduce that the time is approximately 3:15. Meteorologically, I suspect that we will have a beautiful day tomorrow. Theologically, I can see that God is all-powerful and that we are a small and insignificant part of the universe. But what does it tell you, Holmes?" Holmes is silent for a moment. "Watson, you idiot!" he says. "Someone has stolen our tent!" A man and a woman are having dinner at a very fine restaurant. Their waiter is taking another order at a table just a few feet away when he notices that the man was slowly sliding down his chair and under the table, with the woman acting unconcerned. The waiter watches as the man slides all the way down his chair and out of sight under the table. Still, the woman dining across from him appears calm and unruffled, apparently completely unaware that her dining companion had disappeared. After the waiter finishes taking the order, he comes over to the table and says, "Pardon me, ma'am, but I think your husband just slid under the table." The woman calmly looks up at him and replies,
"No, he didn't. He just walked in the door."
One night, little Johnny went to sleep and dreamt his Uncle Bill died. He woke up, and that evening, his dad got a call saying that Uncle Bill died. The next night, little Johnny went to sleep and dreamt his Aunt Joy died. He woke up, and then that evening, his dad got a call saying that Aunt Joy died. Little Johnny told his daddy,
2 days ago, I had a dream Uncle Bill died, and then yesterday, I had a dream Aunt Joy died."
His dad said, "That's just a coincidence." The next morning, he tells his dad,
"I had a dream that my dad died."
His dad was terrified. He had a terrible day at work and took every precaution. He didn't eat any of the food in case of food poisoning, and he drove slowly in case of a car wreck. When he finally got home, little Johnny's mom asked him how his day at work was. "Much worse than your day, I'm sure," his dad replied.
"I don't know,"
said his mom.
"The milkman dropped dead on the front porch today."
A man is sitting on the bus, reading a book, when somebody taps him on the shoulder. He turns around and sees an old lady. She says to him,
"Sonny, would you like some nuts? I've got a couple hazelnuts and almonds if you'd like them."
"Sure," the man replies. She gives the man a handful of nuts and returns to sit with her friends. "What a nice lady," the man thinks to himself while happily munching on the nuts. A few minutes later, he feels another tap on his shoulder. There she is again, offering him some nuts. The man gladly accepts them, and she goes back to her seat. After about 10 minutes, the old woman taps the man on the shoulder again, offering him more nuts. He asks her, "Why don't you eat them yourself?"
"Because we've got no teeth,"
she replies. "Then why do you buy them?" asks the man.
"Oh,"
replies the old woman.
"we just like to suck the chocolate off of them."
A cat dies and goes to heaven. God meets him at the gates of heaven and says,
"You have been a good cat all of these years. Anything you desire is yours. All you have to do is ask."
The cat says,
"Well, I lived all my life with a poor family on a farm and had to sleep on hardwood floors."
God says,
"Say no more."
Instantly, a fluffy pillow appears. A few days later, 6 mice die and go to heaven. God meets them at the gates with the same offer that he made the cat. The mice say,
"All our lives we've had to run. Cats, dogs, and even women with brooms have chased us. If we could only have a pair of roller skates, we wouldn't have to run anymore."
God says,
Say no more.
Instantly, each mouse is fitted with a beautiful pair of tiny roller skates. About a week later, God decides to check and see how the cat is doing. The cat is sound asleep on his new pillow. God gently wakes him and asks,
How are you doing? Are you happy here?
The cat yawns, stretches, and says,
Oh, I've never been happier. And those Meals on Wheels you've been sending over are the best.
On a bitterly cold winter morning, a husband and his blonde wife were listening to the radio during breakfast. They heard the announcer say,
We are going to have 8 to 10 inches of snow today. You must park your car on the even-numbered side of the street so the snow plows can get through.
So the wife went out and moved her car. A week later, while they were eating breakfast again, the radio announcer said,
We are expecting 10 to 12 inches of snow today. You must park your car on the odd-numbered side of the street so the snow plows can get through.
The wife went out and moved her car again. The next week, they are again having breakfast when the radio announcer said,
We are expecting 12 to 14 inches of snow today. You must park.
Suddenly, the electric power went out. The wife was very upset. With a worried look on her face, she said,
I don't know what to do. Which side of the street do I need to park on so the snowplows can get through?
Then, with love and understanding in his voice, the husband replied, Why don't you just leave the car in the garage this time? A farmer is not feeling well, so his wife takes him to the doctor's office. After the doctor examines him, the doctor calls the farmer's wife in to talk to her alone. She asks,
Is my husband going to be okay, doctor?
The doctor replies, Well, he will be if you do everything I say. You have to prepare all of his meals for him every day. All food must be organic and gluten-free. He cannot have flour or sugar. His stress level can't go high, so it will be good if you agree with him. No strenuous activities, so maybe you should take on the yard work, snow clearing, and feeding of the animals. Do this for a year and he will live. Later, in the car, the farmer asks his wife what the doctor said to her. She replies,
Well, honey, he said you were gonna die.
A defendant in a lawsuit involving large sums of money said to his lawyer, If I lose this case, I'll be ruined. It's in the judge's hands now, said the lawyer. Would it help if I sent the judge a box of cigars? Asked the defendant. Oh no, said the lawyer. The judge is a stickler for ethical behavior. A stunt like that would prejudice him against you. He might even find you in contempt of the court. In fact, you shouldn't even smile at the judge. I see. Good to know, said his client. Within the course of time, the judge rendered a decision in favor of the defendant. As the defendant left the courthouse, he said to his lawyer, Thanks for the tip about the cigars. I'm sure we would have lost the case if you'd sent them, said the lawyer. But I did send them, said his client. What? You did? Yeah, that's how we won the case. I don't understand, said his lawyer. It's easy. I sent the cheapest cigars that I could find to the judge, but enclosed the plaintiff's business card. Betty's washing machine broke down, so she called a repairman. She told him,
I'll leave the key under the mat. Fix the dishwasher, leave the bill on the counter, and I'll send you a check. Oh, by the way, don't worry about my bulldog Spike. He won't bother you. But whatever you do, do not, under any circumstances, talk to my parrot. I mean it. Don't talk to my parrot.
When the repairman arrives at Betty's house the following day, he discovers the biggest, meanest looking bulldog he's ever seen. But, just as Betty had said, the dog just lies there on the carpet watching him go about his work. The parrot, however, drives him nuts the whole time with his incessant yelling, cursing, and name-calling. Finally, the repairman can't contain himself any longer and yells, "Shut up, you stupid ugly bird!" To which the parrot replies,
What? Get him, Spike!
A guy driving a Kia pulls up at a stoplight next to a Rolls-Royce. The driver of the Kia rolls down his window and shouts to the driver of the Rolls, "Hey, buddy, that's a nice car. You got Wi-Fi in your Rolls? I've got Wi-Fi in my Kia." The driver of the Rolls looks over and says simply, "Yes, I have Wi-Fi." The driver of the Kia says, "Cool, hey, you got a fridge in there too? I've got a fridge in the backseat of my Kia." The driver of the Rolls, looking annoyed, says, "Yes, I have a refrigerator." The driver of the Kia says, "That's great, man. Hey, you got a TV in there too? You know, I got a TV in the backseat of my Kia." The driver of the Rolls, looking very annoyed by now, says, "Yes, I have a television. A Rolls-Royce is the finest luxury car in the world." The driver of the Kia says, "That's a very cool car. Hey, you got a bed in there too? I got a bed in the back of my Kia." Upset that he did not have a bed, the driver of the Rolls-Royce sped away. He went straight to the dealer where he promptly ordered that a bed be installed in the back of the Rolls. The next morning, the driver of the Rolls picked up his car. The bed looked superb, complete with silk sheets and brass trim. It was clearly a bed fit for a Rolls-Royce. So the driver of the Rolls drove around all day looking for the Kia. Finally, late that night, he finds the Kia parked with all the windows fogged up from the inside. The driver of the Rolls gets out of his car and knocks on the Kia's window. At first, there is no answer. Then the owner sticks his head out, soaking wet. "I now have a bed in the back of my Rolls-Royce," the driver of the Rolls said arrogantly. The driver of the Kia says, "You got me out of the shower for that." A man and his wife were spending the day at the zoo. She was wearing a loose-fitting pink dress, sleeveless with straps. The man was wearing his usual jeans and a t-shirt. As they walked through the ape exhibit, they passed in front of a large silverback gorilla. Noticing the wife, the gorilla went crazy. He jumped on the bars and, holding on with one hand and 2 feet, he grunted and pounded his chest with his free hand. He was obviously excited at the pretty lady in the pink dress. The husband, noticing the excitement, thought this was funny. He suggested, "Now maybe pucker your lips and wiggle your bottom. Let's see what he does." She played along, and the gorilla got even more excited, making noises that would wake the dead. The husband then suggested that she let one of her straps fall to show a little more skin. She did, and the gorilla was about to tear the bars down. "Now show your thighs and sort of fan your dress at him," the man said. This drove the gorilla absolutely crazy, and he started doing flips. The husband smiled sweetly at his wife as he opened the cage door. "Now tell him you have a headache."